Hello everyone, welcome to a lecture series of financial management. So today's lecture number 23. So in this today's lecture, we are going to see two important concepts or two important things which is related to a working capital management. So first one is the process of a capital management, and second one is the advantages of working capital management. So what is the process which has to be followed for working capital management, and how and what are the different advantages of this management that we are going to see. So as you know, the working capital management generally refers to all the aspects of managing and controlling the current assets or current funds and current liabilities. So it is an attempt to solve the problem that arise in management of current assets and current liabilities. So a proper planning of this working capital is very important, and this working capital management planning, or we can say a proper decision making of this capital, it has to be done smartly by a financial manager. So in this session we will see what is the process one has to be followed for working capital management. So the first one, if you see, so process of working capital management. So in general, if you see, the working capital management, it involves the decision regarding the composition and financing the current assets. So a very smart and very thinkful decision one has to take to have a good strategy of a capital management. So uh, this decision, if you see, this decision where it involves so many things. So generally it involves the trade-off between the risk and responsibilities. So if you want to grow any business, if you want to achieve a profit in any business, in any organization, then the risk taking factor and responsibilities is very important, isn't it? But one has to understand, or one has to do a trade-off between this risk and responsibilities. So who can manage the trade-off? The one who manage the trade-off between this risk and responsibilities, then one can hope for a good success in any organization. Now in short, we will describe the basic steps which is involved in management of working capital. A very first step is what? Long run view of a working capital. So the working capital, it was classified into generally into a gross working capital and net working capital. So from management point of view, if you see, the gross working capital, it is of a very less importance as compared to net working capital. So for having a long run view of a working capital, we have to concentrate on the net value of a current assets. So gross value is also important, but as compared to a net value, gross value is less important. So net value, it is of much more worth in planning of a or in process of a working capital management as compared to a gross value. So if you see, you have to concentrate on the net value of a current assets. So what is that current asset? That is the operation of current assets, which is the constant in run short run analysis, but variable and manageable in long term analysis. So this kind of asset, it is variable and it should be manageable if you concerned with a long run operations. So if you see in first point we have seen the long run view of a working capital. So in this process, the more importance or more stress it is given on the net work capital as compared to gross work capital. The second point is measurement of working capital. So it is important to measure the working capital balance from the financial data of corporate balance sheet. So it becomes a very much essential, isn't it? So to measure the working capital from financial data balance sheet, it becomes much more important if one has to, if anyone who want to follow, or anyone who want to do a good process of capital management. A third one is a ratio analysis. So ratio analysis of working capital is utilized by management as a mean of checking the efficiency with which the working capital is being used in the enterprise. So from the management point of view, the most important ratios, if you are if you see in the previous lectures, we also see in the important ratio analysis is very important. The most important ratios are, you can say, it can be a turnover ratio, or it can be a working capital ratio, or it may be a current debit to tangible net worth ratio. So many ratio analysis is required for checking the efficiency of working capital. So generally it is followed by all the business organization to check the efficiency or to check the performance of any organization. So any financial efficiency, it can be checked by using the ratio analysis method. Next one is fund flow analysis of a working capital. So fund flow analysis of working capital is an, generally if you see, it is an effective management tool to study how the funds has been procured for the business and how they have been utilized for the business or for undertaken the ventures. So generally if anyone who want to run his business, or who want to achieve a great profit in the business, then there should be, or there is a necessity of always a funds. So necessity of fund is always required, and there should be a huge fund. So there are the different, if you see in the previous lectures we have discussed, in there are the different methods, or there are the different ways from anyone, any enterprise, any entrepreneur, he can raise the funds from the financial organization, or he can raise the funds from his friends, from his relatives, to grow his business. So there should be a proper flow of the working capital, or there should be a proper flow of the funds, so one can concentrate on growth of the business and he can achieve a success in the business. The next one is what? Preparation of working capital budget. So preparation of working capital budget is also very important. So preparation of working capital budget for efficient management, it involves the careful measurement of future requirement and the formulation of plans for meeting them. So one has to have a, should have a very clear vision, or clear uh, goal one has to set before starting any organization or any business. So a careful measurement of future requirement and how that requirement it can be met, so that plan has to be also get estimated, and that plan also it has been also, it has to be get prepared in budget, in capital budget. So to conclude it can be stated that the preparation of working capital budget, it constitutes an important part of an overall financial budgeting. So a financial budget which has been followed by each and every organization or by the company, so a proper planning of the requirement and how this requirement it can be met by the available resources. It has to be taken into consideration by the owner of that company, by the financial manager of that company, so that the company can grow up to a great extent. So these are the mainly five major points that one has to concentrate to achieve a success in the business organization. So this is what you have seen the process of working capital management. So a little bit we'll have a revise. First point is what? A long run view of a working capital. So in that long run view of a working capital, one has to concentrate much more on net working capital as compared to gross working capital. So net working capital is of more importance as compared to gross working capital. Measurement of working capital, next one, measurement of working capital. In that one has to measure the working capital balance from financial data of the balance sheet. So that is second. And third one, ratio analysis techniques are there. By using that one can check the efficiency, one can check the performance of that organization by using different tools like a turnover ratio, working capital ratio, current debit to tangible net worth ratio. Next one, the fund flow analysis. In that fund flow analysis, for any organization, for its growth, one has to have a good funds, one has to have a good capital to have the growth in the business. So as we have seen in previous lecture, different methods are there by which we can raise the funds from the financial agencies. And last one, you have seen the preparation of working capital budget. In that working capital budget, one has to find out what are the future requirements of that organization as concerned to financial, and one has to plan properly how that requirement can be met within the stipulated time and within a available resources, how it can be possible. So that thing it can be done in the financial budgeting. So this is what the process that one has to be followed of working capital management. The next point we are discussing, we will discuss what the advantages of working capital. So in this, the business it does not get affected. If you see, it not get affected by the fall in the value of assets of the company. So if anyone who have a very good working capital, or anyone who have a very good management in the capital, then his or her business it will not get it not get affected. It will not get we can say bankrupt by fall of the values of the assets of that company. Even if we get assets of that company, if it get fall, but the working capital management it will save the company from bankrupt. Second is what? So it make it possible to promptly satisfy all the obligations and also enables the organization to reap the benefit of cash discounts. So this is also possible. So anyone it can be possible to satisfy all the obligations within the limitations which has been put on the company. Different laws are there, different protocols are there that company it has to follow. If anyone who have a good working capital, then he can run his own business. Even he loses his valuable assets due to the working capital environment. Anyone who have a working capital environment, good environment is there, he can satisfy all the obligations and it enables the organization to reap the benefits in future. Third one is what? It protects the company from perishing due to sudden breakdown of strikes are there, natural calamities are there. If you see, it may be a flood, it may be earthquake, or it may be a fire. So many natural calamities are there that company have to face, or risk factors are there. So because of this working capital, the company it can saved, or it cannot get perish due to these breakdowns. Next one, it also enables the organization to maintain the inventory level at satisfactory level, so that it is in position to satisfy all the requirements of the customers. So satisfaction of customer, that is an we can say the ultimate goal of any organization or any institute. So to satisfy the requirement of that customer, uh, that can be met only if anyone who have a good capital, good working capital. So good working capital, it helps the owner of that company to satisfy the requirement, or it helps the organization to maintain the inventory level at satisfactory level. Next, it enables the company to extend favorable credit terms to the prospective customers. So this is also a very we can say it can be a very good advantage. So it helps the company to extend the credit, extend the favorable credit terms. Next one, due to, if you see, due to ready stock of material, or we can say due to a ready stock of raw material, or it may be a services, the company it is in position to work efficiently. So efficiency of any company, or we can say a good performance of any company, it depends on so many factors. So it depends on the availability of raw material, it depends on number of skilled persons in the organization or in the industry, it depends on how the planning is done, how the decision capabilities owners are there, if the company it is in partnership. So all these factors are very important. If you see the efficiency, or generally the efficiency of, or the performance of that company, it mainly depends on what, the financial health of that company. So if financial health of that company is good, then one can say the efficiency of that company is good. And last one is what, the business it is in position to maintain its composure through all the stage of trade cycles. So as you know, the company it has to go to a different hurdles, they have to pass the different hurdles. So it is not easy for any organization or any company to start a business at one instant, and to gain the business, to gain the profit at another instant. So many hurdles are there that company have to face. They have to go different legal things, they have to complete all the documentation, all the paperwork, and they have to follow all the protocols which has been governed by a government, or by a municipal corporations. So all these things, the company have to follow the protocols, and they have to move further for their progress. So if anyone who have a good working capital, then and then only they can run their business smoothly without any hurdle. So these are the advantages of this working capital that we have seen. So this is mainly seven are there, seven advantages of working capital. A little bit again we will revise. So what, the business it will not get affected due to, even if there is a fall in the value of the assets of the company, because the working capital it will save the company from fall down. Second one, it is possible to satisfy all the obligations. Yes, so if anyone who have a good working capital, then the organization they can see for a further benefit, and they will satisfy all the limitations, all the obligations, and all the protocols which has been assigned to that organization. Then it will protect the company from perishing due to some natural calamities like flood, earthquake, fire, or it may be a strike of that strike in the company. So if anyone who have a good working capital, it will save. Next one, it will enable the organization to maintain the inventory levels, so which will satisfy the requirement of the company. So end goal of any organization is what, to satisfy the customer. So it is only possible if organization maintains the inventory level. Next one, it enables the company to extend the favorable credit terms. Next one, due to the different ready stock of raw material, services, and different resources, efficient skilled workers, the company is in position to work efficiently. So if anyone have the good working capital, then and then only they can manage this kind of things. And last one, the company is in, or the business is in position to maintain this composer through all the stage of a trade cycles. So the company, if anyone who have a good working capital, they can manage, or they can move over all the hurdles, and they overcome the different hurdles, and they achieve the success. Till then, we'll stop here. Thank you.